It's finally here. It's finally here. I don't know at this point where to go. I can honestly say that over the last, 8-9 years with Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer as being the main deciders in terms of talent for the Vikings. I don't know. Like, Rick Spielman, I believe, has been around, since 2007, 2008. He's been around for a while. And it's like he brought in a lot of great players for the Minnesota Vikings. And now Mike Zimmer is gone as well. And, ever since 2014, there's been some good times. There's been some bad. And there's been some great times, but also really bad times. And I don't know. Like, obviously, the Minnesota Vikings have fired both Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer. And I'm like, I honestly don't know where to go at this point. I really don't know. I don't know. This is just kind of a weird day for me. Like, we knew it was coming. We knew it. But now we're 8 years ago or 9 years ago when we were in the same spot. I was like, okay, Mike's, Leslie Frazier's gone. We'll see what the Vikings do. And it's like, first of all, this is going to be a long offseason for Vikings fans because we know they've got pieces. I mean, Kirk Cousins, if they can maybe get him on an extension and see if they can lower that cap hit for, 2022, it's like 40 some odd million. Ugh. Also, I mean, they've got some pieces. If they can get Danielle Hunter back, their defensive ends, their defensive line is tough still. Sheldon Richardson showed a lot this year. Dalvin Tomlinson and Michael Pierce, like a little bit injury prone for Pierce's part, but it's like, I don't know, there's some pieces there. Eric Kendricks still is one of the best linebackers in the NFL. Anthony Barr probably gone after this year. Harrison Smith still him at times. Cameron Bynum is good. Patrick Peterson showed moments of flashes, if you will. And it's like, okay, Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Irv Smith Jr., all of them are good. Like, we get it. But it's also the point of, like, I don't know. Like, this is such a weird offseason. This was such a weird experience over this last season. And it's like, well, where do we go from here? I think a couple things are for sure. Number one, I think an offensive coach needs to come in here and revolutionize this Vikings offense, because it has gotten to the point where it's like we have built around the run for a long time. And yes, we've had some quarterbacks in here that do some great things, but it's like we've built around the run for so long. It's time. It's time for change. It's time for things to go away. It's time for a new quarterback, potentially, in my mind. I love Kirk Cousins. I think his trade value is really high, but I don't know any direction that the Vikings want to go at this point. But it needs to change. It needs to change in terms of the Vikings need to build around a quarterback, a young quarterback. Maybe that's Kellen Mond. Maybe that's another quarterback they draft in this upcoming draft or next year's draft, whatever it is. But changes are coming. Changes are coming for the Vikings on so many different fronts, and I'm excited. But I'm also kind of like, oh, we're in this partition again. Okay, I've been here before. Doesn't mean that I liked it. In fact, I hated waiting the entire offseason for what the Vikings team was going to look like. And I need to be abundantly clear, I don't think this is a complete rebuild for the Vikings. I think this is a situation where they've got a lot of talent on both sides of the football. Can one coaching change? Can literally one man come in and just turn this franchise around? I don't know. I think it's possible. I think you've got a lot to build on, but could you just switch out some players here and there? Could you trade for a guy like Joe Burrow for your next 10 first round draft picks? Maybe, I don't know. That's a little out there, I think. But could you take a player, or could you take a guy like Kirk Cousins, build around him a little bit more, have him take a little bit more of a pay cut, and potentially rebuild this team? Maybe. Or could you trade Kirk Cousins, get a young quarterback in here that spends some time behind a veteran quarterback, a veteran average quarterback, and then get him building? I don't know. I think maybe that's what could happen. But at the end of the day, we know what's currently gone on has not worked. And I think the question is now, okay, Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman are gone. Now what? Well, the Wilfs have showed that they are about that life. They are about that ring life. They want to go out and get some rings, and I understand. I fully support it. And how they go about that, I don't know. What's next? I think very soon they need to make a play. They need to make a play for a strong head coach that's offensive-minded, that's revolutionary, that can make plays, or at least change the way the Vikings look. Not make plays. That's the player's job. But like make some moves that just change the scope of the Vikings, because running the football is not getting it done. They need to make some changes in that department, and they need to be able to make adjustments late in games. That's just, and I don't know, average clock management would be great. With this team, I don't understand it. Like, it's just one of those things where rebuilding, getting things going, I don't know. It's come down to this. And I think that obviously big changes are on the way. And I'm excited, but I'm also like, where do we go from here? Because it's now it's time for changes, and it's time for things to be turned around in Minnesota. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We really appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome, and we love every single one of you. Check out our website at the sportsbriefpodcast.com. Wow. Also in the description down below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. We greatly appreciate it. Also in our description, you'll find our link to our iTunes. Give us a listen and sub there. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we'd love to cover it. Let us know what you guys think about Mike Zimmer, Rick Spielman gone. Now what?